Welcome back for the third session for the day on the subject inspection, search and seizure under GST Act. And to develop on this subject, we have none other than CA Jatin Christopher, sir. May I request our Vice Chairman to escort Jatin, sir, on to desk and then welcome him with the floral bouquet. Thank you, Pramod. Thank you, sir. I am privileged to introduce CA Jatin Christopher, sir. A. Jatin Christopher is a chartered accountant, a cost accountant, and a law graduate. He has qualified in the year 1996, and he specializes in indirect tax laws. He is a published author and a resource person for the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India and its various post-qualification programs on indirect taxation, and extends support to ICAI in publication of educational and research material on various indirect tax topics. He is also a resource person for the Government of India in conducting training for practitioners, trade and officers. He has been in practice since 2000 as partner in JCSS, a full service firm with presence across India. With this brief introduction, I present before you CA Jatin Christopher, sir. Over to you, sir.
Good afternoon, friends. It's definitely a privilege to be here to address members on such a important topic where these provisions are being very liberally pressed into service by in various departmental action that we can see, and to cover it from both income tax and GST perspective can bring a lot of value to members as you compare and evaluate how taxpayers' rights, remedies and safeguards available in the law have to be availed by taxpayers in the course of departmental action. What is the difference between statutory audit and internal audit? It's the same person, the same chartered accountant who discharges both functions in different client contexts. Statutory audit involves certain responsibilities. Internal audit involves certain other responsibilities. It relates to the same taxpayer, the same underlying transactions are being looked at, same books of accounts are being examined, but it's the terms of reference that make all the difference. What we will carry out as far as statutory audit function is concerned is vastly different from what we will carry out when we are conducting an internal audit. It is that sort of a fundamental difference between the terms of reference that we have to look for in GST law when departmental action is taken up. Audit in GST is conducted under section 65. 65 permits tax officers to interfere with self-assessment. Tax officers have the power of interference to come in and disturb the self-assessment carried out and challenge the self-assessment carried out, examine various tax positions taken by taxpayer. But 67, where inspection, search and seizure is authorized, is vastly different from audit under 65. I think September or October 21, an article was published in the Members Journal of the Institute discussing how GST officers are conducting audit at the time of inspection. They will come in to do inspection, but they will go about conducting audit because all that they know how to do is reassessment. This is the hangover of VAT law. Whatever section you give, they will do what they know how to do, reassessment. In an audit, there are certain areas of data differences that will give rise to further enquiry. Your GSTR 1 is not matching with 3B. Your e-way bill records are not aligning with 3B returns, so on and so forth. See, merely because there is some differences in data does not automatically mean there is some leakage of revenue. Existence of some data differences will only give rise to further inquiry. But most investigations are abandoned right after identifying data differences. I'll give a small I'll give you a few instances to highlight how this results in some serious errors in conclusions drawn by the department. There is a GSTR 2A data that says it's about 1 crore rupees of credit is admissible. 3B, the assessee has taken 1 crore 25 lakhs as credit. So the department says, look, there's a difference of 25 lakhs. You're supposed to pay this 25 lakhs. By way of reply, objections were filed stating that that 1 crore that is appearing in 2A is nothing but motor vehicle purchased. So the demand should not have been for 25 lakhs, the demand should have been the entire 1 crore 25 lakhs. Now the officer was perplexed, saying, now what should I do? The demand raised is only 25 lakhs. You are saying it is not 25 lakhs, it is 1 crore 25 lakhs. Can I confirm this additional demand? You cannot confirm this demand. So the officer was given very clear documents to say that that 1 crore also was wrong and compelled to record it. This is the document I am giving you. Breakup of 1 crore is motor vehicle purchased. Here is the breakup. Please record this. So he happily signed and recorded. Now you have to pass an order confirming that only 25 lakhs is wrong and this 1 crore is correct. Now it has been 8 months, no order has been passed because officer also does not know how to go about passing that order, because if he confirms the demand of 25 lakhs, that means that 1 crore he is blessing, he is permitting it. Friends, please bear in mind, we need to know what they need to know. Terms of reference I told you in the beginning, what they can do under 65, they cannot do under 67. What they can do under 67, they can do under 65. But today the question is 67, where they have power of inspection. So when they come in to do whatever they want to do, we need to be extremely clear what limited areas they are permitted to examine. Let's say you go to a hospital, you have headache. If the doctor is asking you to remove your shoes, little bit doubt you should get. My headache, I have a complaint. Why is he? Okay, doctor, he has studied 10 years, he has studied, maybe he knows something, some nerve going to the brain starts from my toes, I don't know. But if he is searching in your feet, don't you think you should get a doubt to object to what he is doing? Sir, calls allilide sir tale illa allu huduktira talege. Friends, we are afraid to ask questions. We are afraid to ask questions. The law says we must ask questions. Section 160 subsection 2 says that you are supposed to ask question as to the basis on which they are doing this investigation. Friends, I am telling you, this is not even some, I surprised myself with the empirical data. 9 out of 10 search proceedings are being discontinued. 9 out of 10 search proceedings are being discontinued the moment you ask them, what are you looking for? Gottilla sir, kottor nodakke, go and check. So we had this training for officers. So we were discussing about the preconditions in section 67(1). There are certain preconditions in the law. So we were discussing about this. So during tea break, one of the deputy commissioners came and said some small question. So he said, you are saying we should come in with prior knowledge of evasion of tax. I said, Act is saying that you should come in with prior knowledge of evasion of tax. Only if I come there, I will know what is the evasion. How will I know there is evasion before I come to the premises? Sir, if I come there, I will find something, sir. I will find something or the other. But that's not the framework of the law. So let's look at what is the framework of the law. Section 67(1)(a) very clearly says, where the proper officer not below the rank of joint commissioner has reasons to believe that, clause A, taxable person has suppressed stock, suppressed supply, claimed credit more than his entitlement, contravened act or rules to evade payment of tax, may authorize any officer to inspect the place of business of such taxable person. Clause B, any other person, not the taxable person, any other person like a warehouse keeper, transporter, so on and so forth can also be inspected, which means where, see the construct of the section is very important, where, very important. If you see section 130 subsection 1, how they amended the provision regarding confiscation, it starts now saying where the proper officer. Who is the proper officer? Not below the rank of joint commissioner. CTO, AC, DC, ಎಲ್ಲ ಲೆಕ್ಕಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ. Why you don't talk to me? ಯಾರು ನೀವು? See, when an article clerk goes to conduct audit, all the youngsters will recollect, when you went for audit, the confidence that you used to go and put on display, the client would think that you are the signing partner. Correct, no? Give me this details, give me that details. Sorry, I don't have time, I have to go for one more audit. This starts in second year itself. In second year itself it starts. I remember during my articleship days, I was in third year. One partner joined the firm as chartered accountant, he joined the firm as partner. I used to tell people that he is my junior. I am third year article. So 3 years I have been in the firm. He joined this year, isn't it? The confidence that this article has, same confidence CTO also has. Where the proper officer not below the rank of joint commissioner. So all your questions has to be not below the rank of joint commissioner. What should you ask the joint commissioner? Why did you come to my premises? Why did you come to my premises? You must have, where the proper officer not below the rank of joint commissioner has reasons to believe, suspicion illa, reasons to believe is explained. This recently one small article was circulated for publication, maybe it's published also. Please go through those decisions. R.S. Jawar, very beautiful judgment, 1958. Reasons to believe is something that will convince a rational mind based on cogent material taken on record. If I look at you, if I feel you are not paying tax correctly, that is not reasons to believe, that may be suspicion. Reasons to believe some cogent material has to be taken on record on the basis of which a rational mind must be convinced. If you see Radhakishan Industries versus State of Himachal Pradesh, in para 65, our present Chief Justice, who was the judge then, he called for the Joint Commissioner's handwritten remarks from Dehradun to Supreme Court. In para 65, he recorded what the JC's remarks were, and in para 66, he says, on reading the remarks made by the Joint Commissioner, we are not convinced that those actions were based on cogent reasons. So he has to record reasons why he feels inspection is necessary. 9 out of 10 inspections are not necessary. What should they search, What should they look for? Search I will come to. What should they look for? Suppressed stock. What does it mean? The stock is suppressed. As chartered accountants, we understand what this means. In the books of accounts, there is stock and it is not there physically. Can we say that is suppressed stock? No. In the books of accounts, if there is stock, then it is not suppressed. Suppressed stock means there should be, physically there should be stock, there should be no stock in the books. Come. Physically there should be stock and in the books there should be no stock. If physically there is stock and in the books there is no stock, does it mean there is a suppression of stock? It can mean one of several things. Purchase bills have not yet been received. I have not received purchase bills. Stock has arrived. When the bill arrives, then I will account it. Can I account it before the bill arrives? No. I have received stock pending approval. How long should I wait before I account the stock received on approval basis? 31(7) says 6 months time. So practically, it is impossible to find out a suppressed stock. Suppressed supply, I have made supplies and I have not reported the supplies, which means what? Stock is there in my warehouse? No. Suppressed supply, I have supplied but not reported that. So there is a purchase bill, there is no stock, there is no sale bill. That is, I have made supplies, which I have not accounted. How will you account that? I'll give you a small analogy to understand this. This is so significant. They can't check whatever they like. There's one student in a class, students in a classroom, they were asked to do some drawing. All the boys were busy drawing. One boy was sitting quietly, staring at that blank paper. So the teacher came and said, "What are you drawing?" So he was looking at his paper. Said, "Sir, I'm drawing bus stop. I'm drawing bus stop. Where are all the people?" See, like this one paper you are staring. Where are all the people? Sir, all the people are in the bus, sir. Where is the bus, sir? वो तो चली गई. Suppressed stock, suppressed supply is impossible to prove. Impossible to prove. Chartered accountants need 3 days to do stock taking. CTO will do it in 2 hours. We should take him for stock audit. At least he'll finish the work faster. So recently one case near Tumkur. They came in in the afternoon at 3 o'clock and they searched, they conducted the proceedings till 2 o'clock the next morning. They found some stock differences. They asked the dealer, "Please give me your trading account." Immediately he prepared trading account. Expert. Experts are attending seminar. How did you prepare trading account? He has prepared some trading account. He knows his GP. So he knows how to prepare stock statement. You understand? The starting point of any investigation is itself flawed. The proprietor cannot give authentic facts. He is not the expert anyway. So proprietor cannot give facts. Officer cannot find out facts. Where from will they get facts? All imagination. All imagination. Suppressed stock, suppressed supply, claimed credit more than entitlement. This 2A, 3B, 3B, 4B, 4B, 5B, that is not claiming credit more than entitlement. I am supplying at 5% without ITC, but I have taken full ITC. That is a case of claiming credit more than entitlement. And contravened act or rules to evade payment of tax. So ultimately, they can only verify evasion of tax. Ultimately, they can only question evasion of tax. I'll tell you why these things are so important, because that gives the terms of reference for any departmental action under 67. These 2 instances I keep giving regularly. Here in Double Road, one officer, he issued a show cause notice, 27 crores demand. He says, "This is a works contract, you and your customer have colluded. You and your customer have colluded. You have taken a works contract and you have artificially split it as supply of goods and provision of services, and to evade payment of tax, you have done this mischief." And he arrived at a liability of 27 crores and given a show cause notice under section 73. So the client came and said, "Sir, can you do something about this notice?" I said, do you want to pay this tax? "I don't have this money to pay tax." Now there's clarity that he wants to litigate. If he has money, then there is 2 views whether I should pay or I shouldn't. He has no money. "Do you have money to pay fees?" "That much I have, sir." Then we'll do anything. That is most important. Otherwise, it's only what's the use. So he said he has money to pay the fees. So he said we filed. Then he said, "Sir, can you give a detailed reply?" No. I am a consultant. You should not give me consultancy. The situation in our profession has come to this stage where the patient is giving suggestion to surgeon. "Sir, how about starting from the left side and going all the way down?" That's the condition of our profession. Said, "Paid fees?" "Yes." "Now proceed, we will give a reply." Short reply, because I keep saying this. If the answer is long, it's most likely wrong. Because if it is worth being said, it can be said in 4 short sentences. If there's nothing to say, you take extra answer paper and you keep filling it. Correct now? See all the smiling faces? That's how we pass some papers. All right. So short reply. "Dear sir, we received show cause notice and department has accepted that there is no evasion of tax. Department has accepted there is no evasion of tax. Therefore, self-assessment carried out cannot be disturbed. Kindly drop the demand." When the letter was filed, apparently officer fell down from the chair. So he immediately called up and he said, you come here. How can you give a reply like this? 20 pages show cause notice I have given saying evasion of tax. You are saying like this. Please come here. Which section? You have to tell me which section. Then only I will come. You cannot keep simply call me. Those days are over. Chartered accountants living in the income tax department. Those days are over. In GST, nobody goes to the department. Nobody is supposed to go to the department. 2 days later, he called again. He's fixed personal hearing. Now I will come. Went for the person. Come. So we went and said, where have I have said there's evasion of tax? Where have I said there is no evasion of tax? I'm saying there's evasion, there's collusion, there's malefides, all of those things. Doctrine of election. You had two paths to pursue. You had a path, section 73 under chapter 15 to issue a notice. You had a section 74 under chapter 15 to issue a notice of demand. 74 notice must be given when there is special circumstances, fraud, willful misrepresentation and suppression to evade payment of tax. 73 when other than fraud, willful misrepresentation, suppression to evade payment of tax. By electing to go 73 route, you have elected not to go under 74. So you knew when there were two routes to take that the ingredients to defend a notice under 74 are absent. That is why you selected 73. An affirmation of 73 is a disaffirmation of 74. So therefore you have only said there is no suppression. Sit down, I will order tea. Yes. Typographical error, it's a very serious typographical error. 160 subsection 1, wrong mention of a wrong section is different. For example, I'll look at section 160 subsection 1. It says, in substance and in effect, if the intention, purpose and requirements are sufficiently conveyed, then mistakes in any notice, order or communication will not be fatal to the proceedings. 160 subsection 1. But 73 cannot be understood as 74 because 74 means something totally different. 74 has so many other ingredients, 74 has so many other consequences, whereas 73 has totally different consequences. If there is only one outcome, I'll give an example of where there can be a something was misspoken. If you see section 73 and 74, the last sentence of 73.1 and 74.1, 73.1 says with penalty in accordance with the provisions of this act. 74.1 says with penalty equal to the tax. The provision for levying penalty in 73 or 74 is contained in 122 2A and 2B. Now here if there is a misstatement of section, it is a 122, penalty under 122 and demand under 74, we have to understand the missing pieces saying it is 122 2B and not any other provision. But if they have elected to give me a notice under 73 and not under 74, they now have to give me a reply saying that no, we meant 73. If you look at circular 185, it says under 75(2), if the special circumstances are not established, then the notice will be deemed to be a notice under 73. A downgrade of the notice is permitted in law, but upgrade is not permitted because upgrade has more prejudice to me. So I cannot be worse off in adjudication than I was pre-adjudication. So therefore this reply was fine. Order T. He said, now what do I do? If you want to save the demand, you have to drop the notice and give a fresh notice. If you want to drop the notice, you will lose the demand, 27 crores. What do you want to do? See, why this is important is action by departmental officer is not accidental. Action by departmental officers is not accident. We are supposed to assume that it is deliberate. When they come in to do something, they do it deliberately. They know what they want to do and they want to do that thing which they are doing. They don't want to do something else and they end up doing something else. That's not what they want to do. So please be very careful. We have to give credit to the section that they have invoked to exercise their powers. They cannot say, somewhere in GST law I have power to do something to you, so I am here to do those things to you. That cannot be sufficient to meet the standards of law. So when you look at 67(1)(a), they have to only look for evasion of tax. Ultimately, all these four things must touch evasion of tax. What is evasion of tax is important. What is evasion of tax is important. Evasion, every non-payment of tax cannot be evasion of tax. That we've all heard, that I don't think there are any two ways about it. Every non-payment of tax does not mean there is evasion of tax. So evasion requires certain positive acts. There should be non-payment of tax along with the knowledge of liability. I should be aware that I am supposed to pay, but I have not paid it. Now how do you prove that I had knowledge? All of us have the belief that we have all the knowledge that we need. Officer must bring home this, saying that you were aware of your liability, yet you did not discharge this liability. Third thing is that there must be the use of any device to make detection difficult. There must be use of any information that makes detection difficult. If you see circular number 1053, very clearly it says information taken out of your financial records cannot support extended period of limitation. In your financials, I have got this information. How can there be evasion of tax? If you wanted to evade tax, why will you disclose this information in your contemporaneous records? So non-payment of tax, knowledge of liability, use of any device to make detection difficult, and gains from this misadventure. By doing all this, what did I benefit? I should collect 18% tax, pay 12% tax, evasion. I collected 12, paid 12. Where is evasion of tax? Stupidity, no evasion. There is a lot of difference. Is stupidity crime in India? Don't feel shy, you can answer. It's not a crime. See, nobody is deliberately unwise in their assessment. It's just that we all studied for 3 months, took leave, went, wrote exam for 3 hours. Did we all get 100 marks in accounts? I got 52. So after 1.5 hours you left the hall. No, full 3 hours I was there. I wrote all correct answers. They didn't give. I have a difference of opinion with the valuer. You understand? Valuer does not know. Anyway, it's okay. 52 is enough for me. Evasion is not something that can be lightly concluded. That's my point. Officers don't know there is evasion. They will come in and discover some evasion. This is called after discovery. After discovery. So 67(1)(a) refers to these 4 areas of evasion. They can come in and inspect the premises. They will inspect the premises and find out if there is, see, what is if they already have reasons to believe that evasion is taking place, why should they come? If they never knew, they can't come. If they knew, why are they coming? They will come in to validate those reasons to believe. Very important. They have to come in and look for something particular. You know how enforcement action is conducted by department nowadays? State department. Anybody will visit. They will record a statement. Whoever is the person sitting there, they will record a statement. I so and so, ACCT Enforcement South Zone Koramangala came in, visited. I asked for some documents. You are not having all the documents. You gave me balance sheet and you said in 7 days you will give following documents. One big laundry list. One laundry list of various documents will be listed and says in 7 days you are going to produce. I hereby disclose my identity. I will do this. I will do that. Mother promise. All that we will write. Where is the section to back up all these statements? There is no provision. When there is no provision, sign whatever they want you to say. Sign it. Then 7 days later they will come saying, "Yen documents in a kotla." Will not give any documents. Is there a second innings in inspection? Follow-up action is there? They should come in. It's an emergency provision. Come in, check what you want to check, do whatever you want to do, go, please leave. If you see INS 1, the format, rule 139, the format prescribed is in part A, B and C. Ajanta Electricals, the design of the form gives the government's interpretation about the rule. That's the principle. Look at the form. The form tells us how the rule should be interpreted. They have got an authorization. Let's say you are going to Delhi by flight. Last week's ticket you have. Can you go to airport with last week's ticket? Last week, let us say you went late to the airport. You thought bus stand, so you went 20 minutes before the departure time. They said 20 minutes. Next Monday, you again go to airport. See, I have ticket. You can't go. INS1 has validity. With INS1, you can visit my premises. Once you exit my premises, this is yesterday's ticket. You cannot come back again. You understand? See, look at how Parliament has laid down the procedure for an inspection. We think that department can come in and ask whatever they want, and we are obliged to hand over everything. The structure of this law is self-assessment. I will do the assessment. I will do the assessment. If department has any grievance about it, they can come and do an inspection, and that inspection is for a limited duration. If they exit the premises, then that INS1 is not valid anymore. So you have to ask them this question saying, please explain how this INS1 is valid. So we wrote one letter to Additional Commissioner South Zone saying that, sir, this INS1, they have shown it to the attender in the office. He did not know what is this INS1, so you give me a copy of INS1. So the Assistant Commissioner wrote a letter saying that it is confidential. I can, sir, my X-ray, how can it be confidential with me, sir? I don't know how to read X-ray, but I want to keep my X-ray. I will see. Correct. Now, how many of you have your X-ray blood report? What is the use? No use, but still emotional. You give it to me, it cannot be confidential from me only. Please give it to me. So an Additional Commissioner gave a copy of INS1. INS1 has the entire section reproduced there, where the proper officer not below the rank of Joint Commissioner has reasons to believe that 1, 2, 3, 4. Sir, all that section I also know. What is the area of evasion you are looking into? No, the additional IAS officer, he got upset. He said, I will give you reasons. Come on. So he gave a reason. Your 3B and 9 are not matching. So he replied, thank you for the clarity that you have given. 3B and 9 is part of audit process, not enforcement. Kindly drop proceedings. I want personal hearing. So we asked for personal hearing. So we went for personal hearing and met Additional Commissioner. You are twisting my words, Jatin. You are twisting my words. I said 3B, 9, etc. because it is somewhere of those things I want to verify. Sir, no guesswork allowed, sir. You have to come with a very specific area of inspection that you want to validate those reasons to believe. You cannot simply come and keep pressing till it hurts. That is all healthcare service. They'll keep on pressing till it pains. This is not such thing. You cannot search those things. Friends, it has been 2.5 years. They have not had a chance to come back and touch those books of accounts. No, but what is the harm in giving all the documents? Look at chartered accountants. It's okay. We have regularly been violated. Anybody can violate us. So what? Come and violate. As long as you are satisfied after violating us, then we are satisfied. Please violate us. Whatever documents you want, reconciliation. My job is to do reconciliation, sir. From articleship days, you know what all I will do reconciliation. I can make creditors tally with debtors. That balancing figure, you know where you'll keep. There only. After 2 years, I won't even know where I've kept it. We will do reconciliation like nobody's business. If the column numbers increase, it will be in landscape. Too many columns, then we look up. Pivot tables. We'll do any reconciliation you want. Doing your investigation is not my job. How many agree? But how many here are taking on subcontract basis departmental work? We have all become outsourced contractors. 2A is not matching 3B. Don't worry, sir. Give me seven nights you give me, sir. Day also you don't give me. Day you don't give me. Day I have tax audit. 7 nights you give me, I will do reconciliation. Give, sir. my 2A will tally with next year's 3B also. So perfectly I will do reconciliation. R1 not matching 3B. What I am there for, sir? My job is only lifelong, only reconciliation. What is your area of specialization? Now I am doing GST, but basically I am reconciliation expert, sir. Anything I will do. 26 years with e-way bill I will do reconciliation, sir. How you will do? Sir, you don't know my talent, sir. I can do reconciliation like nobody's business. Such an expert I am with reconciliation. Please don't do department's work. Don't do department's work. They want to do something, let them verify. What do they want to verify? Kuttilla, sir, kalsidare. So please be very careful. Terms of reference. As soon as departmental action is initiated, you need to get a clear visibility of what is it that they are here to verify. Sir, you have come, sir. Sit down, sir. I will give you this also. I will give you. Take, sir. You take this. You take this. Officer did not know that there are so many other things, sir. This man's enthusiasm, he has given him more information. What a gentleman you are, sir. I want to save your phone number, sir. Like you, if you have consultants, all enforcement action will be smooth. You will only do everything. Anything else I am supposed to check? Sir, actually, there is one go down behind. If you want, you can come with me. We'll check that also. Please be very careful. What they want to do, allow them to do. Allow them to do. They should have some specific area in mind to investigate, and they will come in and investigate that much only. If they turn to the left or turn to the right, you should stop them. That's a requirement in law. Law says you should not actively cooperate beyond the terms of their reference. So 67(1) talks about inspection. Can they record statement in inspection? No. That is section 70. 70 is not being pressed into service, so therefore no recording statement. 67(2), where the proper officer not below the rank of joint commissioner has reasons to believe that two things. 67(2) is different from 67(1). If you look at INS 1, part A, 67(1)A, part B, 67(1)B, part C is for 67(2). It's the same form. So when they come in to do inspection, can they do search? The reasons to believe that inspection is necessary cannot be the same reasons that search is necessary. But the form is the same. Either they should come with inspection come search and seizure authorization, or they should come in with inspection but not do search, get one more authorization to do search. Now let us say inspection is going on, suddenly they feel that there are some offending goods. Some offending goods. Should they leave and get one more authorization? If they leave, it is yesterday's ticket. They can't leave, and while they are here, they should call for another authorization. Immediately call up joint commissioner, sir, give me one more authorization to search. 67(2) says offending articles. What are offending articles? 130 subsection 1 clause 1 to 5. Offending articles are in section 130. Offending articles or documents, books and things which are considered necessary for the further investigation are secreted. If you see the words are secreted, before are secreted there is a comma, which means offending articles also must be secreted, documents, books and things also must be secreted. What is secreted? Accounts department papers kept in accounts department cupboard is not secreted. Accounts department papers kept in marketing department cupboard is secreted. Secreted means actively doing something to make detection difficult. Correct, no? Only if it is secreted. Now that it is secreted, joint commissioner must already know. So if they come in to search for granite and they find marble, can they take it and go? No, they did not know. This is called after discovery. When they come in and they find something more offending articles, they must call for another authorization. Sir, all these things, how will we ensure? How will we ensure all these rights and remedies in the law are ensured? It's possible. extend full cooperation. Instruction number 1 very clearly says, of 22-23, very clearly says that they cannot come in and give multiple search, etc. What time they should come in and search, when ladies are present on premises, lady officers should also be present, so on and so forth. How will you ensure that officers are not breaking the law? When is it that you will ask this question? That takes us to section 6710. 6710 says, commissioner shall be equivalent to magistrate under 165(5) of CRPC. Whenever such exceptional powers are being invoked, taxpayers' safeguards are to be looked after by the commissioner. So once the proceedings are concluded, 67.3 concludes with a show cause notice. They have to give a show cause notice. After show cause notice, before replying to show cause notice, you should make an application under section 6710. Number of such cases, when you make a 6710 application, department will not give a reply. In this in this publication of institute, there is a chart that says what are step by step how to conduct inspection proceedings. All right, it talks about do not give a reply to a show cause notice until you have called for these records. So after show cause notice, before replying to show cause notice, you make an application under section 6710 asking the commissioner to tell us what was the reasons to believe that evasion of tax is taking place. He has to give a declaration. There is one judgment of Guwahati High Court in Marjit Basumatari, where DGGA conducted inspection and proceeded to issue a show cause notice. Assessee filed this application and DGGA did not give a reply, saying that it is confidential. Assessee went to High Court and said, what is this confidential business? If you did not know what you are inspecting, then you could not have inspected these things. Now department is taking extension in High Court, because High Court said, okay, you show it to me, let me see what is confidential. The words in the interim order are, if the inspection was conducted for valid reasons to believe, or was it a mere pretense? These are the words in the interim order. So now High Court is pulling up department to give disclosure of what are all the things they are verifying. Probably the first case. Here Mysore, they have given a reply to the 6710 application stating, we cannot give you all this information. Now that is also getting ready to go to High Court, saying that you cannot say that you will not tell me what were your reasons to believe. So friends, reasons to believe is a bulwark against abuse of law. It's a bulwark against abuse of law. So you have to ask for information. What did you think was here? Because whatever section you give, they will come back and do the same thing. 2A not matching 3B, R1 not matching 3B, 17.5, 42, 43. This is what they are going to do, isn't it? So therefore, please be very careful. What should be done in audit should be done in audit only. What should not be done in inspection should not be entertained in inspection proceedings. When you look at something is secreted, they can search and seize things that are secreted. See, seizure is different from confiscation. Seizure is very different from confiscation. Confiscation results in vesting of title in the government. Seizure is only physically taking custody pending investigation. So therefore, when seizure is done, nothing to be afraid. They will seize and go. There was one case in Shimoga. They came in, searched, the registered premises was the residence of the taxpayer. They searched everything and took everything away, and then they gave summons under section 70 telling the taxpayer, Monday you have to appear in Belgaum with all the following records. You have to get your work orders, your bank statements, your income tax return, bring all these documents and appear on Monday. Taxpayer promptly filed a reply. Everything that I have, you have already searched, seized and taken it away. You please search in your files if whatever you want. You have taken my savings account, passbook, bank, checkbook also. If you find it, you please return it. Don't be afraid of search proceedings. There is nothing to be afraid of search proceedings, because a case has not yet been made out. A search is to discover something. A case has still to be made out as to what is it that they want to do. I'll give an example. One case we were discussing last week. The assessee runs a hospital, Ayurvedic hospital. Department has conducted proceedings and they have said, you are not a hospital. You are not a hospital. What are you? You are a fitness center. See, there are two things. To reject the self-assessment made is one aspect, but to substitute the self-assessment with an alternate interpretation is a totally different case. If they say you are not a hospital, I have to prove that I am a hospital. Look at the sister, sir. Look at the doctor, sir. It is a hospital. And see, can you get a smell of Dettol? Then we are hospital only. I don't know, whatever test, how to prove it is a hospital? You use some criteria to prove. So we went for this hearing. You are saying this is a fitness center, so you have now made this a gym. See, in Ayurvedic hospital, what will happen? Patient will get admitted. The doctor there will pour oil and then he will do all the treatment. Correct, no? He will do all the exercise. In a gym, you pay money, you go there, you lift all the weights, you do all the hard work. There's a lot of difference, isn't it? So we told the officer, sir, now you tell me who is doing the gym, sir. Officer like, oh, madabardita. Please be very careful. A notice is not to discover the truth. The notice is not to discover the truth. The notice is to challenge your tax position. Not that the officer is right. Is it possible to canvass an alternate interpretation? Possible? Then a view will be canvassed. Now we will see what happens to the notice, whether the interpretation in the notice will sustain or it will not sustain, isn't it? So therefore we have to be very vigilant when we look at departmental proceedings. Please give a write-up. You've seen this? Departmental requests regularly. Please give a write-up about your business. And we are used to taking extra answer paper, so we will give 50-page write-up. No write-up. No write-up. Whatever is my tax position, it is available on the portal. If you see my GST 1, you will know my turnover, my 3B, my tax discharge, ITC, everything is available on the portal. What write-up do you want? No, what business are you doing? Many business I am doing, sir. Many business I am doing. There was a case we had in Belgaum where Commissioner Appeals is hearing this matter. Commissioner Appeals, when we started arguing the case, the Commissioner said, you are not arguing properly. Okay, sir. You are not arguing properly. How would you like me to argue the case, sir? You have to first tell me what business your client is doing. Then from there you have to explain what is the issue and then what is the demand. Then I will do justice. Sir, that is the main dispute, sir. Nobody knows what my client is doing, sir. You are taking 26 AS and you are demanding tax from me. Nobody knows what my client is doing. That is the heart of the issue. You have caught the point correctly, sir. So what is the next? Drop the demand, sir. That's all. Nobody knows. Please bear in mind, when I give a reply, I am not justifying my self-assessment. When I give a reply, I am taking a stand. My stand is it is not taxable. My stand it is exempt. My stand is it is non-GST. My stand is that it is taxable. My stand is that it is 12% tax. My stand is that it is 5% tax. My stand is that it is eligible for ITC. It is my stand. There is no malefides in my action. This is my stand. If you are not happy with it, who has the burden of proof? Who has the burden of proof? Burden lies on the one who makes an assertion that the self-assessment is wrong. So I have to wait. But we are not, 3 hours time, we have to write very fast as much as we can to get 45 marks. Take extra answer paper also. As soon as we get a chance, we start offering information that was never ours to offer to begin with. So friends, when you look at 67 proceedings, keep quiet. Keep quiet. Somebody called me and said, sir, we got a notice. See, chartered accountant is so closely involved with the interest of the client that we are very concerned. If a client gets a notice, we get worried. So the client has got a notice. Said, which section they have sent this notice? Guttila sir, open madila. They received an envelope, so he called me straight away. Said, open madi sir. Ondu nimsha. No, I am busy. What busy? Your work is of no use. My work is priority. Okay sir, I'll hold on to line. He opened the envelope. ADT 1. We are going to visit your place for an audit in the next 6 months. That's all was the letter. As soon as he saw the envelope, he called, saying immediately contact, saying we have received notice. That is not what is supposed. Let the department do what they want to do first. Officer also does not know what to do. I have got authorization, now I will visit. Why we have to look at this is taxpayers are prematurely educating the department and causing prejudice to their own case. Keep quiet. Keep quiet. Let the department do what they want to do first. You have other income in your financials. Yes sir, financials means these things will be there sir once in a while. You have other income in your financials. Okay sir. Have you paid GST on other income? I doubt it sir, I don't think we have paid sir. Then you have to pay tax. Is it? Okay sir, how much sir? 18. Enough? At 20 it will be too much, 18 is enough. Be always in moderation. Okay sir, 18% tax. So he gave show cause notice at 18% on other income. Show cause notice. Reply. What will the reply? Sir, please give strong reply. Strong reply. T order. Please give strong reply. So strong light, short reply. Short reply. Please clarify what is HSN code you are using. You have arrived at liability. You must have rate of tax. To have the rate of tax, you must know the tariff entry. Please clarify what is HSN code. Finally, they drop the demand. That's all. They have to drop the demand. They cannot correct the notice. 75(7). What does it say? The grounds on which the show cause notice is issued, on those very grounds they should pass the order. They cannot improve the notice when it comes to the order. So therefore, please be very careful. Allow department to make out their case first. No, we have found something in your warehouse. Okay. Warehouse means some things will be there only. Where else it will be? No, you have not paid tax. Possibility is there. Possibility is there, but not with any bad intention. Maybe a little bit such things are there. Balance sheet sometimes don't tally. Huh? Although originally it is supposed to tally, but somewhere along the line it doesn't. With subsidiary ledgers, general ledgers, it doesn't tally sometimes. Please allow department to make out their case, because they have made out another case that your depreciation is too much. See, share capital you are having. You have to pay service tax, GST on share capital. You are giving guarantee. Pay tax on that also. Sir, anything else? Depreciation is too much. All right. You don't know how department officer thinks. Do you know how an officer thinks? No. You are CA, he is BA. How you know those things? Isn't it? Now he is BTech also. BTech UPSC. Dangerous combination. You are what? You are after all what? BCom, ICAA, CA. What is this? Very boring. Engineering with UPSC. What a combination. Brain will work in very, very innovative ways. Share capital. Why not tax share capital? Sir, okay, sir, you tax share capital. Sir, every month he is my parent company, sir. So how about taxing every month? Every month, but once a year we will tax. What is the time of supply? 31st March. Of course, 31st March I think is reasonable, so that the average interest rate, interest is not too high. All garbage. Nobody knows the law. All garbage. Please wait for them to make out their case. Why you are in a hurry? Sir, client wants to settle, sir. Hello? Settle. That's one word that is very popular. Client wants to settle. I don't know how it is. Income tax. Income tax. I keep asking this in other places that I go. Recently we were in Hospet, so we are asking members in Hospet, saying Vijayanagara, what is the word here in Bellary Vijayanagara area? Sir, same here also, settle only, sir. One nation, one tax, one settlement. We don't want notice. Okay. How many members here are very unhappy if your client gets notices? Please raise your hand. Not a single person. Not a single person is unhappy that your client gets notices. I know. Huh? Shameless, all of us. Notices will come. Notices will come. We just need to know how to respond to it. Notices are being issued under wrong section. We got a notice under section 35. Notice under section 35. So officer said your books of accounts are not maintained properly, so I am giving you a show cause notice under section 35. We wrote a reply saying that sir, under section 35 you can't give notice, sir. Howda? I can't give notice under section 35. 35 says how I should maintain books of accounts. 35 does not allow you to give notice. That section, for that reason only I am giving notice. Section 35 says how I should maintain books of accounts. If I am not maintaining books of accounts correctly, you should give notice under some other section. Some other section. So please drop this notice. So he dropped this notice. He gave one more notice. He gave notice under section 70. Please produce all your books of accounts. Again we wrote a reply. Section 70 says summons has to be issued to call for a document or evidence, to record evidence. A document. A document under how many documents? A document. One contract, one ledger, one bank statement, a document. No, I'll give 10 documents. Okay, you give a list. All books of accounts means you also don't know what you're asking for. Tell me list all the things. All customer ledgers. Okay. All creditors ledger. You give all of those things. We will see. So we replied, he got upset. See, when the other person gets upset with your answer, does it mean you're in the right direction or does it mean you're in the wrong direction? The other person gets upset means you're in the right direction. So we can't give you all the documents. A particular document you ask me. No, I insist that you to give all the documents. So we took tally in one pen drive and sent it. I don't know how to open this. See, all those things I cannot help you with. Section 70 is the next provision that is misused the most. Because if you see the language, have you received summons? You received summons, you've seen the language. This is a proceeding that is liable for prosecution under IPC. This is a proceeding under 193 and 228 of IPC, and action will be taken under 173, 174 of IPC. But please bear in mind, summons must be given in the course of any inquiry. If you look at section 70, there is no rule corresponding to section 70. Correct, no? Section 67 has a rule, 139 to 141. But 70 does not have a rule. So 70 itself is a machinery provision for 67. There must be a 67. Pursuant to that, they are issuing summons under 70. For 67, there should be INS 1. There should be INS 1. There should be specific areas of evasion based on cogent material forming the reasons to believe that this investigation is necessary. So please give INS 1 copy. No additional commission has given authorization, therefore we are issuing this. When you look at any summons, you will also come to know what exact area of inspection inquiry is being conducted. Can you reply to a summons questioning the validity of the summons? Is it allowed? When you get a summons, can you reply to a summons questioning the validity of the summons? If you are respectful and you are seeking clarity against any correspondence from the department, you can write back to the officer. Now it is the officer's responsibility to give you an explanation that what they are doing is correct. When they provide you the response, they will disclose defects in their own authorization, defects in the way in which proceedings have been initiated, and expose the limitations in their proceedings. Please be very, very careful. If you prematurely expose yourself to proceedings that are not valid, illegally discovered material can also be used against the taxpayer. Puranmal's case. So therefore, please be very vigilant to make sure that you have understood what is the contours of any proceeding. What is the contours of the proceeding? There is no harm in asking an officer, please explain exactly what are you searching for. it is very confidential, we cannot give you. Such an answer if you get, is it good or not good? It is good because now you have no further responsibility to cooperate. You are doing some confidential investigation, you continue, sir. Madi. Search. No, I want a long list. If they give you a long list of information, then you know it's what's called a roving inquiry. They cannot keep looking for whatever is possible to be looked at. So therefore, please be extremely vigilant. 9 out of 10 investigations are illegal, without basis in law. It may be authorized, but without a basis in law, because I am telling you this. First hand I am telling you, officers are confident that taxpayers will not question. 1 or 2 people, Kuber will ask one question, Venkat sir will send one question, otherwise nobody will ask any question. If they see official letterhead, they will be standing here in the morning. Officer will come at 11 o'clock, tax consultant is sitting there at 8 o'clock in the morning. You see, chartered accountants have reserved parking in Kormangla. You understand? Officers are confident that taxpayers will not question the validity of the proceeding. So I am challenging you, try once, ask officer to explain what is the contours of this investigation that they are doing. You will surprise yourself that investigation got stopped. Because you are asking questions. There is a long line of people who are not asking questions with reconciliation in hand. Box files. We look up. With pivot tables, they are standing in queue. What are you asking questions for? So friends, please be very careful. Inspection is a very exceptional power. RS Jawar onwards, if you see, State of Rajasthan versus Rahman, very brilliant judgment to explain the principle, saying that someone's personal liberty cannot be infringed by departmental intervention. Exception is there. When the whole society is looking to the department to prevent evasion of tax, this one taxpayer cannot be allowed to go scot-free. To help, to do service to society, this person's liberties must be infringed. And that's how you have the background to this search proceedings. So please treat self-assessment very dearly. Our self-assessment power has to be treasured and not allowed for anyone to violate it as and when they like it. They have to be very finite reasons for them to come in and inspect and conduct these proceedings. Rest of 67 is quite straightforward. If you look at 67.3 talks about show cause notice must be issued. If a premises contains certain things where something is secreted, they can break open the lock. And if it is an electronic receptacle, they can get some experts to break it open, because everything cannot be broken open with hammer. Hard disk should not be broken open with hammer. You understand? There's once on this Infantry Road, a software company, those days, when we were studying final, the story we used to hear, the software company, there was an allegation that software companies are doing some software work. There was some news like this, that these software companies apparently are doing some software work. So a search was conducted and they seized all the computers and took it away. All the computers were seized. Next week, the officer visited from Queen's Central Revenue Building, they visited Infantry Road. They found business is going on as usual. He said, what is this? We seized everything. How come you are doing all the business? They had seized all the monitors. The CPU is below. You know that story. So they had seized all the monitors. CPU was there. They got new monitors. Business was going on usual. Next time they did one more search operation. They took monitor and CPU. 1 week later they came in, again business is going on. In the corner there is an air conditioned room with server room, where all the software was there. They did not know how to seize these goods. So they came in, took all, they said, where is all the software, you tell me. So they took all the software in one floppy disk, 5 1/4 inch floppy disks. They took all of that, they seized it, they stitched it nicely, tagged it and took it away. Understand? So therefore different methods were used in the past. Now methods have improved to conduct searches here. They will break open this and seize this. Order of prohibition is very interesting. Order of prohibition is where The goods cannot be taken away. For example, goods are sent to a customer on approval basis, or the goods are kept with a job worker for some processing. An order of prohibition can be issued to the customer or to the job worker saying, use it, but don't return it back to this registered person because these are under detention with the department. Provisional release can be sought under 67(6) so that they can be released. One is interesting provision in 67(8) which talks about notification 27/18. What this provision says is there are 17 entries in this notification that says if goods are perishable, hazardous, liable to deteriorate, then under rule 141, department can after seizure sell the goods back to the SSC. Market value or tax payable, whichever is lower, they can ask the taxpayer to pay and take away and return the goods. If he does not accept it, then they can auction the goods. Provisions in 67 are very clearly laid down for a purpose. Let's not think of search as an omnibus provision where they can come in and do whatever they like. Whatever they like is not possible to do. They have to come in and do very specific things. What should the taxpayer do? Passive cooperation. What is passive cooperation? Just sit, let them do whatever they want to do. No subcontract. Preparing reconciliation statement, preparing trading accounts, stock verification. Passive cooperation. Let department finish whatever proceedings they want to conduct. After they conclude the proceedings, it must result in a demand. Is there any other way department can demand tax? Spot recovery. Spot recovery, but the practice is going on. We've seen in Zomato's case also, they came in the middle of the night and they collected some revenue. This is one recommendation that I have. If taxpayer is unable to resist pressure for spot payment, taxpayer can make spot payment. After making spot payment, he should file refund application. See, DGGI will come in and do inspection. When you make any payment, it will go and appear on the dashboard of your jurisdictional proper officer. Your payment will not appear on DGGI portal. So your jurisdictional officer will see some payment coming through DRC3, cash or credit. He will see some payment. You will file a refund application. He will happily give you RFD2. And later he will issue show cause notice in RFD8 to find out what is going on, what is not going on, etc. But file refund application. If enforcement comes in from Koramangala and they ask you to make immediate payment, your jurisdiction officer must be somewhere else, file refund application. The reason why we have to file refund application is there is no provision in GST law to make payment under protest. No, we have paid under protest, etc. is not of much use. In order to save the demand from limitation, being hit by limitation, you have to file a refund application. When you file a refund application, you are not going to get money immediately. When you file a refund application, it takes a little bit of talent to get RFD2, acknowledgement. Get RFD2, whether they give the refund later or reject the refund, it does not matter. That can be dealt with in appeal later. Perhaps you will get a show cause notice against this inspection. This show cause notice will go in appeal. You can tag the refund also with that same appeal for disposal. So therefore, please be extremely vigilant to identify if there is any coercive action. Next, we will talk a little bit about statements to be made in summons proceedings. Who are the people who will be summoned? We'll take three levels of persons. Accountant. Accountant will be called to record some statement. MD will be called to record some statement, and some operations persons will be called to record some statement. Operations persons could be employee or could be an outsider, transporter, warehouse keeper, anybody can be called to record statement. When you are recording statement, there are three kinds of information that is recorded. Three kinds of information: fact, interpretation of fact, interpretation of law. Clear? Three kinds of information. What is fact? What is a fact? Are you registered? Are you not registered? That's a fact. Did you pay GST? Did you not pay GST? What is the date of your agreement? Did you sign this agreement? Did you not sign this agreement? Facts are very limited. Interpretation of facts can be very vast. You did not pay GST because you wanted to evade payment of tax. Is that a fact or not a fact? It's not a fact. I did not pay tax. That much is fact. Why I did not pay tax? It could be bona fide, it could be malified, it could be a confusion, it could be many things. Isn't it? For facts, do you require a statement to be recorded? Anyway, there is other ways of corroborating these facts, so statements are not recorded. For interpreting facts, do you need a statement to be recorded? No. Is this person expert in interpreting facts? Who? Accountant is expert in interpreting facts? MD is expert in interpreting facts? What does MD know? Nothing. Huh? He says MD does not know anything. That is why he is MD. MD does not know anything about GST. At least let us confine it to GST. Other things he may be knowing. Correct, no? So therefore, he is not in a position to record any statements. Interpretation of law, this is taxable. How can you say it is non-taxable? It is liable to tax. It is not covered by Schedule 3. It is not exempt transaction. Are these things facts or these things are interpretation of law? Who is the final authority? CTO. But CTO's confidence is like second year article, full of confidence. What does partner, if I keep that balance sheet, he will sign. That is how it is. So friends, please bear in mind, statements recorded under section 70 are worthless source of evidence. But we don't question it. We don't question statements recorded. Because there is one case from Kerala we were handling. So what we asked for was the show cause notice to be given to us in word copy. 200-page show cause notice. So we asked the show cause notice to be given in word, and we, in strike through you can do in word, we can delete whole sections. Wherever the show cause notice had relied upon opinion of persons on facts or law, we highlighted them, saying that all these portions of show cause notice must be deleted. Because this is conjecture. Somebody thinks this is how GST law must be interpreted. That has no bearing on the case. So let us delete this. More than 40% of the show cause notice was finally deleted by adjudicating authority, saying that you please delete all this. Then you read the show cause notice. In your order, if you refer to this deleted portion of the show cause notice, then you are going to face embarrassment in appeal. So please be very careful. So he agreed to delete more than 40% of the show cause notice had to be deleted while adjudicating this show cause notice. All that we had to ask was, we want embellishments, conjecture, opinion to be removed from this. KT Sharduli's case, very old, 1962, State of Kerala versus KT Sharduli. Supreme Court said, when people have recorded statements, falsehoods can be brought out only by cross-examination. Falsehoods can be brought out only by cross-examination. Why did the accountant make those kinds of statements that you have not paid GST correctly? See, we have not paid GST correctly. Is it a statement of fact or an opinion? It's an opinion, isn't it? It's an opinion. How did the accountant decide that we have not paid GST correctly? To say that the GST, the correct amount of GST is this, itself requires a deciding authority to say that this is the correct interpretation of law. So therefore, if the first step is a misstep, then everything else has to stand deleted from the proceedings. We have to question the validity of any statement being recorded. MD cannot give a statement, accountant cannot give a statement. Chartered accountants have this great enthusiasm to go and stand in Koramangala and in Double Road, DGG office. Many chartered, where are you going? I have some work in Koramangala. What work you have in Koramangala? No, enforcement. Correct. Enforcement, they have work. What work you have? No, they have asked for statement, I have to go. Chartered accountant is attending proceedings to give statements on behalf of client. This is like a chartered accountant I met in one pathology lab. I was there for some blood test. This chartered accountant standing there saying, sir, what are you doing here? Sir, my client is applying for visa. So they said he needs blood test. Then he should come. Why you are there? Sir, his tension, my tension, all same, sir. My reading will be more or less accurate as his reading, sir. So I thought I will only come and give my blood, sir. It's okay, sir. Papa, my client. and long-standing client, sir. This is how we are. We are attending proceedings in Koramangala, Double Road, etc. We are recording statements. Please, summons has to be attended by the person who has been summoned and not the chartered accountant. No, sir, I am going there only for moral support. Moral support, you have to bring fruits and stand outside hospital. You must not go inside operating theatre. Sometimes patient is not there. Moral support people are lying on the stretcher. You understand? Please be very careful. Proceedings being initiated under section 70 are all baseless, What statements are being recorded? Lastly, when you look at statements being recorded under section 70, find out when a statement is recorded, what is the worth of that statement? What is the evidentiary value? See, any statement made under threat or inducement, is it reliable or not reliable? Now, the motive of the person making such incriminating statements also has to be tested. Why is a person making if a statement is made against the interests of the assessee, is it believable? It is even less believable than a statement made in favor of the taxpayer. And have you noticed a statement in favor of assessee? The way the questions will be put, the way the answers collected will all be in such a way that it advances revenue's case and not assessee's case. So if you look at section 136, there are 5 reasons given. Unless the person who has made the statement has died, that statement has no value. That statement has no value. Friends, please bear in mind, another mischievous trend I am seeing in departmental action, in appeal also. Respondent who appears in the taxpayer's appeal is the departmental officer. There is a constant effort to cover up their mistakes in the show cause notice, in the order, and in appeal. I'll give an instance. A show cause notice is issued under demanding output tax. This is equivalent of section 73. A demand is made under 73, and in appeal, department is arguing, saying that this notice is actually a notice under section 76. They are substituting the section to advance their case. Please be very careful. Taxpayer is compelled to volunteer new information, like the other example I gave you, saying what is the nature of business of your client? What is the nature of business of your client? Sir, my client is in many business. He is a proprietor. He does real estate business. He does trading. He does commission business. Many business he does from time to time. No, you cannot say that. You please tell me exactly what business he was doing during the disputed tax period. So I had to request the commissioner to say that, sir, you must permit me not to introduce new facts at such a late stage of the proceedings. Then he is smiling and saying that, oh, I understood what you are trying to do. Please be very careful. There is a mischievous trend to cover up mistakes in the notice, mistakes in the order, so that the demand can somehow be saved later on in the proceedings. So you have to be very vigilant. Whenever there is a search proceedings being initiated, inspection or a search proceeding being initiated, taxpayer must extend full cooperation till the department officers leave the premises. After they leave the premises, you have to call for the basis of this entire investigation. I am telling you, 9 out of 10 cases, investigations are abandoned. Investigations are abandoned. If a demand is not made in the form of a show cause notice, there is no case at all. If you look at section 6711, very interesting section. During the course of any proceedings, if a taxpayer or a taxpayer's representative attends the department, they can carry out what is called spot seizure. Spot seizure. What is spot seizure? Your WhatsApp message history can be downloaded. Files which you are carrying can be seized and acknowledgement given. So 6711 is a very dangerous provision. So you have to be very vigilant as to what you will carry when you attend proceedings. Which is why I am even saying that you should not be attending proceedings. Because 70 somebody else will attend. inspection they have conducted and gone. So therefore, there is nothing further to be done as far as attending departmental proceedings are concerned. But we have this tendency to go and sit and have extensive in-person interaction with the officer. Friends, please bear in mind, there is no one person high enough in the system who has the authority to settle. If you are doing any settlement, it is extra legislative. There is no finality, there is no clarity, there is no certainty to these sorts of illegal proceedings if anyone attempts. Nobody in the department has authority to abandon proceedings. Department also follows e-office procedure. They have to document all their authorizations. All authorizations must conclude with an internal report as to how the proceedings were concluded. So if anyone gives you promise, assurance, ho jayega, nodkolti, please be very careful. Such things are all gone. It is not possible to do such things. Please don't fall for such assurances. But taxpayer says, sir, I don't want notices. Taxpayer says, I don't want notices. Once you have taken GST number, notices will come. They will keep coming. They will keep coming. If you don't want notices, you must surrender your number. If you want your GST number, you will get notices. Taxpayers place remarkable expectations on their chartered accountants. But the beauty is, many chartered accountants somehow have the knack of living up to that commitment also. Nodkotini, I will make sure. My blood I will give if you want to. But I will make sure. Please be very careful. Clarity will come only once there is a adjudication order or an appellate order that drops this demand. Clarity will not come otherwise. So you must ensure that department will take the actions. Now when you look at inspection itself as a provision, do you think department should conduct inspection in a limited area, limited instances, not in such a widespread manner? I think it's the duty of the officer to challenge every tax position taxpayers have taken. 50% of the cases, taxpayers only will assist the department. All subcontractors are available to complete the investigation. How many instances people will question? How many instances people will question the validity of proceedings? If you go and sit down with the tax officer and ask them, take this recent trend of the secondment based on northern operating department says in Bangalore, they have collected more than 1,000 crores of GST. 1,000 crores of GST they have collected in 4 months, only on one issue. Only on one issue they have collected just by slightly exerting pressure. How many instances do you think those proceedings would have been valid? To the tax department, the result justifies everything else. The result justifies. They sent this intimation. Now they have collected revenue. Who says this intimation is wrong? Department is emboldened to use measures that may be at the pushing the boundaries of what is permitted in law. So therefore, taxpayers must be extremely mindful of their rights, remedies and safeguards. I'll take a few more minutes to address certain aspects. Forget the proceedings, 65, 67, etc. Are you able to foresee what is going to be the next 3 steps in this journey? Department has come. They have started some action. They are looking into some area of evasion, or they don't know what area of evasion to look into. They are looking into some other areas also. Do you have an idea as to where this will proceed? What will become of this case in the next 3 steps? Adjudication, first appeal, second appeal. Do you have a visibility of what that is going to look like? I would strongly encourage you to build that trajectory as to see where this is going. If you sense that this is a vague inquiry, they also don't know what is going on, then your response today will depend on that insight. But if you know specifically they are looking into secondment, they're specifically looking at raising a demand, they're specifically looking at issuing a notice, then today you need to have done all those things necessary to make sure you strengthen the case 2 steps from now. In appeal, you don't. Today I was talking to somebody about an appeal where the assessee has filed a reply saying that they have not paid GST on royalty. The assessee has admitted that they have not discharged tax. Now they have got an adverse order. How do they proceed to defend this case? Cases will get spoilt based on the first steps that are taken. Please don't bother about some subject matter expert who you will contact and get some guidance as to how to handle the matter in adjudication or in appeal. Your preliminary response. What is your first response? Whenever you get any departmental proceedings, what is your first response is most important. I'm reminded of Fiat India's case. In 2011, Supreme Court, when they were rendering the decision in Fiat India's case, they said a letter was written in 1996 October by the department, by the assessee to the department, saying that they are undertaking what is called penetration pricing. In 2011, a letter written in 1996 was referred by Supreme Court, and Justice Dattu said that because assessee has admitted that they are doing penetration pricing, we cannot come in the way of confirming this, we cannot stop the demand from being confirmed. What is the first response? Extremely, extremely important. In the first response, you should have questioned the validity of the proceedings. No, but I don't know how to question the validity of proceedings. In this book, there is chapter number 8. Chapter number 8 contains 16 formats of letters, illustrative formats of letters that a taxpayer can write to the department under various sections, whether it is 65, whether it is 67, 129, 130, no section, whichever other provisions, there are formats given that suggest, this is something that's published by ICA, it's not some private publication. ICA has published these letters to say that this is the recommended format in which you need to question the validity of proceedings. So my only request is, as soon as you receive any notice, familiarize yourself with which section the proceeding is being initiated under, and based on that provision, you will know exactly what question to put. Because if you don't safeguard taxpayers' interest in the pre-notice stages, great prejudice will be caused to taxpayers' interest subsequently. Many instances I find that when notices are issued, orders are passed, appeals have to be filed, already a good amount of damage has been done to the case, and now we have to wriggle out of that situation to say that no, those statements were made by under influence or threat or under misinformation. It's not easy always to wriggle out of those situations. So please be very careful. When the answer is long, it's most likely wrong. When you don't know what is the, when you are not sure about the validity of the proceeding, you ask them to explain what is the basis on which this proceeding has been initiated. Just because an officer is confident, when they conduct an inspection or a search, does not mean that that is always valid. You have to question the proceedings. If you don't question the proceedings, then we will have submitted and acquiesced to an otherwise illegal proceedings. And I'm telling you today, majority of enforcement action is without authority of law. Majority of enforcement action today is without authority of law because they are short of hands. Audit officers are not enough to conduct all the proceedings. So enforcement officers are tasked to go and issue notices in 16(4) and all sorts of notices are being issued. So therefore, please be very careful. Now, if you step back as practitioners, whether our client thinks that this is the right way to respond or not, we should have a set of answers as to how do we want to respond to a notice. Parading the truth is useless. Parading the truth is useless because there is nobody who is going to appreciate your factual position and say, okay, I will make sure that you get justice. The role of an officer is to reject your answers. The role of an officer is to reject your answers and to see how else additional revenue can be mobilized. And they are right in doing what they are doing. Because when the taxpayer is so foolish to form a beeline to the tax department with reconciliation in hand, why will the tax officer not collect the additional revenue? Just last week we had one case where the department had issued a show cause notice saying, on director's remuneration you are liable to pay GST. We all understand that on director's remuneration you are liable to pay GST. They have demanded GST under 9(4). On director's remuneration, they have demanded GST under 9(4). What is the reply you will give? Director has received remuneration, RCM has not been discharged. Taxpayer wants to dispute the demand. What is the reply you will give to the department? Sir, GST should be demanded under 9(3) and not 9(4). Officer is requesting us to discharge this tax. So what if it is under the wrong section? It's okay. Why don't we drop this in a spirit of cordial relations with the department? Why don't you discharge the tax? It is not our job to do what is instructed by the department. Our job is to do what the law requires us to do. When we interpret law, many times as a chartered accountant, we start interpreting the law based on how it can be pro-assessee. Many articles that we get to read that is published in various journals or in social media, many times a good analysis is one that concludes the interpretation in favor of assessee. Otherwise, what sort of an analysis are you doing if you interpret, can come to the conclusion that it is taxable? Many times we have misplaced loyalties. How many members here are friends with officers? Nobody. You have their mobile number, they have your mobile number. Urgently to contact them, you have their numbers. We were taught to build proximity with tax officers. They should know you, you should know them. They should know you, you should know them. Your work will get done. When you're talking to clients, somehow you have to find an interpretation that saves them the tax, allows them the credit. I would only sense that in GST, there's no such requirement for us to do any of those things, because our loyalties are not supposed to be with the officer. Our loyalties are not supposed to be with the taxpayer also. How many believe that your clients are very loyal to you? If you don't know your competitor's phone number, contact your client. He will have everybody's number, isn't it? We should focus on being loyal to the law. Our loyalties should be to the law and to our craft. It doesn't matter what happens to the transaction. All that we have to be interested in, has the law been treated correctly in a given transaction? Somehow we have this pressure, the business side of the profession somehow has such an overbearing effect that we think that we should somehow find an interpretation that says it is not taxable, somehow not discharge the tax. It is in this pursuit that we will come into this conflict, saying that let's build friendships with the officer. Let's be nice to the officer. Till 11:45 we send good morning message. That in WhatsApp you can send one bouquet also, no? 3 bouquets you can send. If you find yourself indulging in those things, you are not in the direction of the law. Get into the direction of the law, because this law has enough rights, remedies and safeguards for the taxpayer that if we build mastery around this, then we will have built the capabilities to do far greater service to the client than building proximity with tax officers. Thank you all very much.
Members, terms of reference, authorized officer to issue notice, what questions we should be asking the department, right questions rather, check the validity of notice, do not hesitate to ask what actually has made the department to give notice. We should be well versed with the questions, with these questions to the department. Do not think you can favor your clients, and do not think you can ever favor the department, but think you should be acting upon as per the GST law. What a fantastic 2-hour session by CA Jatin Christopher, sir. A big round of applause for fantastic dwelling upon the subject. That comes only by a teacher with 23 years of experience to handle so beautifully, not allowing some of us falling asleep after a sumptuous lunch. Thank you, sir. On behalf of members present here and all the managing committee members of Bangalore branch, we would like to hand over a memento as a token of gratitude and respect. Can I request CA Kuber, sir, to come out to dais and then do the honors? Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.